Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Shit Show. And welcome, Ruben.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me tonight. And thank you, Bruce.
Aha! I need TV for my bungalow.
But I just want to say thank you. And I want to say thank you to everyone in the chat. Let's see who's in here. Oh, Jackie was in earlier.
Jackie.
I don't know if she's going to be able to come back or not. We'll see. But I'm going to say hi to Awesome One. Thank you for joining us tonight. And thank you for Six Nation, 31 Kings. I appreciate it. We all appreciate it. And, Tree Rock Creations. Thank you for joining us tonight. And let's see if anybody else is in. Oh, Soy Based Jeremy. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Are we gonna shit on a movie tonight too? Because we could fill up our docket for the evening.
Yeah, we can talk about anything because basically, I wanted to talk about how rare common sense is in the world today. It just seems like I get in so many conversations on X or any of my other apps or Discord or whatever, and you're talking and they're talking about an experience they had with someone or whatever, and you're like, God, it just seems like no one has any common sense. It's like non-existent. So I heard someone make a comment saying something like common sense is a superpower. And I was like, well, that's what we're going to talk about tonight, because it just hit me like a ton of bricks, because I really do believe that we are really hurting. I'm sure you guys feel the same way to some degree on things.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, is there any certain things that you want to bring up and talk about, Bruce, already? And then I can start.
If you want me to get started on hewing through the whole amount of it, we can.
Okay. Well, which one do you think we should start with?
Well, we could go with the heavy stuff first with a slight racial element, and then we can graduate to the crazy plane lady after that. Let me pull this
I'm gonna copy these two links real quick, and I'm gonna put them in the private chat. I see some other ones in here already, but I don't know if you guys can see them because they usually disappear once I go live.
All right.
But there's two of them in there. But
whenever
I'm gonna
go on this.
I'm gonna add this one up there. Oh, here we go. So go ahead.
All right. So from the AtlantaBlackStar.com, Grand Theft Auto in real life. Washington, D.C., a 13-year-old second teenager of the week killed during carjacking attempt as the city grapples for answers to the youth crime problem. Middle school student in the nation's capital was fatally shot on October 28th during an attempted carjacking, and he had a record of stealing cars and robbing people, with 9 incidents in the past 5 weeks. Despite his young age, the police were well acquainted with him due to the criminal history. This week, the city officials spoke about how the case sheds light on the problem of violent juvenile crime in the area. Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. Bernard Tony Jr., 13, lost his life when he tried to steal a car from a man, becoming the second teen to do so in the past week. There was another teen that tried to steal a car from a man earlier the week of October 28th, and he earned a bullet and a ticket to the afterlife. According to a police report, an off-duty federal security officer shot Tony, a student at Kelly Minner Middle School in Northeast D.C., when he and another juvenile tried to carjack him. According to authorities, the boy pretended he had a gun by keeping his hand in his pocket. The officer opened fire, wounding Tony, who died the next day. The other young boy fled the scene. So the city's now in crisis. The anti-violence activists and mural artists and the followers, the parishioners of St. Floyd, are going to do things to various Wendy's all over the capital. We have Grand Theft Auto in real life. Children think it's a game. Now they're dying. Other people are dying, and people are traumatized. The city mayor, Muriel Bowser, also weighed in, calling the teen's death a tragedy. Guns, carjackings, 13-year-olds. It's a recipe for tragedy, and that's what we have, she said. Acting Chief of Police Pamela Smith said she wants to be careful with how she publicly discusses the circumstances around young Tony's death. He was known to the Metropolitan Police Department, and it's just unfortunate that this particular incident happened on Saturday night that caused him to no longer be here, Smith said. So, finally, a source familiar with the deceased criminal history told WAPO he was arrested in May while he was 12 in connection to armed carjackings in the city. By August, some charges had been dismissed, and he awaited prosecution for the remaining ones. In addition to Tony, the 15-year-old girl with a history of stealing cars was arrested 2 days prior to the young man's death for her involvement in a case in which 2 stolen vehicles traveling in a caravan crashed into each other, killing the 16-year-old driver in one vehicle. Many who knew the 7th grader remembered him as a talented kid with tons of personality and charisma. But instead of using that to further his efforts in life, he decided to go the thugalicious route and got himself dead, Darwin awarded, if you ask me. And I'm not really worried about anything else that has to say. They're going to try to talk about how great he was now. And I don't give a shit. You're stupid if you think that you're going to try to sell me anything else. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. All right.
So what do you think about that, Ruben?
Well, again, people need to take responsibility for what they do in their lives. Mm-hmm. And you have the activists, which are just all they do is just climb around, break up noise, and they spread the mind virus across society. So I'm done with it. I am living, again, I am the master of indifference now. It's basically, I don't care. Because once again, you have someone not taking responsibility in their life, then you're basically pointing the blame to society, or not society, one race of society as the reason that everything's wrong and it's incorrect. And then it boils down to one thing. Humanity needs to have both sides of the equation. You exist today because of a mother and a father, and you need that mother and father to raise you. And that's where we're not doing that. We're not even raising your own kids. We send them off to school and nanny. We have to be working. So we're not even doing that. We are institutionalizing our kids, our lives, everything. We do it all the time. We're slaves to it. We work. We get up and we go work 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, whatever. And it's also in the food we eat. When they locked down, all farmers markets were closed. Regular people were done. We went to 2 box markets. They're institutioning there. Higher institutions of learning are, you know how corrupt those things are. And the institutions that we have for our prison systems. Again, it's conforming you to be complacent. And I don't like it. And again, this is the same crap over and over again. And I'm done with it. No longer going to fall for this crap. This activist crap is over. I'm about love, life, and living a good future for tomorrow. I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we were talking about before we went live, was the fact that it's sad because we're bringing kids in the world that you don't want, because we're not even thinking about what our future is when we meet someone. People are just having sex without thinking about what the consequences could be once you do have a child and bring a child into the world simply with somebody you don't care about. You know what I mean? If you're just having sex with whoever, whenever you want, you're risking every time you have sex with someone, bringing a life into the world that, and with someone you could care less about. So how are you supposed to care about the future of a child when you can't care about the person that you've had sex with?
Here's the bottom. Yeah, the bottom line is it's a very dark statement, I'm going to say. They want you sedated. They want you numb. Think about it. And again, it's a shit show, being very brutally honest. Okay. Again, when you get an orgasm, you release endorphins, it makes
Mhm.
you feel good. And then now they have AI girlfriends. They're selling that to get the guys so they can just jack off every night and just believe that they're falling in love and not have a real human connection. If you don't have that real human connection, then you have no real connection to humanity.
Mm-mm.
Your connection becomes to the AI. And that's what they want, because again, AI models work by interacting with humans. So if you're interacting with something that's in a computer or through a phone, then
Mhm.
then your existence will be in a phone, locked up in a room. You
Mhm.
won't go outside. You won't talk to people. They
Mhm.
do it right now. They have TikTok, all this stuff, Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp, whatever they're talking about on the phone, right?
OnlyFans,
Yeah, OnlyFans, all that crap. But
Tinder.
yeah, but when these people cannot meet in real life, they don't know how to talk face to face. It freaks them out
Mhm.
because they don't have that human interaction anymore. They didn't grow up and go running outside. Go out, stay all day out there long. No, they're inside all day.
Mhm.
Again,
Or they order themselves a real doll online, so they actually have a person there in their apartment or their home that they can talk to, touch, make love to, or whatever, but it never responds back because it's not a
right.
real person, it's a doll.
Yeah.
Right. So, and they can pose it, put clothes on it, have it sit at the table or in the living room to watch TV with them. So they're still in the same boat, though. They have somebody they can physically touch, but that's still not a real person. So
True.
when they do go out in public, they're still not knowing how to interact with a real person. Okay. And they have them for men and women. So I'm not putting this all on men. I know many women that do not know how to socialize simply for the fact they never put themselves out there to socialize with anyone for real. So
Yeah,
they don't know how to do it.
feminism really, the radical feminism destroyed the fabric of womanhood also. It was very complacent and basically, I don't need no man, I'll just do what a man does. But again, I realized something that's kind of interesting here. And again, this is just me, because again, I don't watch TV. I haven't watched TV in a very, very, very long time. And when I see a meme of a television show, I like the show. What's the Office show? I don't know. They had some comedy show, The Office. I see the memes, but I never seen the show. So my own concept of the show is through the memes, not through the actual show. So if someone were to tell me about the show, oh, it's that show, and I would tell them about the memes, but I wouldn't give the context of the story. The analogy I'm putting here is that they're changing our history so that it's memeable, so that they give an alternative reality what happens. Because now
Mhm.
we kids, and I've seen it, they gather together where they actually watch the actual video of the reference of what it is, and they're going, oh, it's out of context. It's not, they didn't really
Mhm.
mean that. So they got a warped sense of view of everything. And that's what's happening now, and I see it because I see people that are watching like Star Trek for the first time, and
Yeah.
they're the young kids, and they say,
Mhm.
"Wow, this is wow, it's complex."
Mhm.
They're thirsty for it. Case in point, go to Netflix. Go to what's the most popular show? We've talked about it. Suits. Older
Yep.
shows are so popular now. And wait. No. All this new content, $300 million movies, 250, and then they're watching old shows because people want that stimulation. Going back to the whole idea, the dopamine rush. They want you sedated, but they want excitement. They want good content. They want their brain to get something that's going to be exciting. You know, you just like McDonald's. The whole concept was to have a home cooked meal delivered to you. And if you remember the movie The Founder, once it was corporatized, it went to shit somewhat by the quality aspect of it.
Yeah.
And think of it now. I wouldn't fucking eat a fucking McDonald's burger in my life. I rarely do it. I'm not going to do it anymore because
Yeah.
for
I
one,
don't. I don't eat that much fast food
but,
at all.
but for one reason, and I figured it out: the preservatives. Everything that has a preservative is going to damage your body, and I'm proof now because I am now 350. I'm dropping even like from last week. I'm dropping like 10 pounds every week, and my body is changing. I'm not gonna. I'm basically I'm using my entire brain. I love organic chemistry. I've done things. I could do the Walter White thing myself if I wanted to. And I've never seen Breaking Bad in my life, but I only go by memes. But again, I did this, so I am reigniting my body, and I'm actually fasting now. I eat one meal a day, but I'm actually going to cut that off to eating every other day because I feel full, because my entire body is now burning off all of the tumors that I had through my body. And my body's moving in certain ways now because I'm taking responsibility for my life. And that's the whole thing. I am no longer to be sedated because, again, it's true. The matrix is real. We're all being duped, and it's time to wake up. That's why I am where I am now. Maybe I'm meant to do something. And again, I do want to get married. I do want to have but I want to do it traditionally. I want to bring back traditional marriage. I want to court somebody, and again, I tell them, "Hey, I want to marry you," or better yet, basically put it out there. I'm the eligible bachelor here, and it's how it used to be. The eligible bachelor would say, "I am here now, and I'm looking for a wife. Bring out the girls." And again, you court them. You would be formal dates. You go out and we supervise, because again, that's the whole idea, that you would integrate. You're not just gonna find a mate. You're gonna find another family. You're gonna grow, and we've lost that concept for the whole idea of the collective nature of, since everyone's doing it, I'm doing it too. We are literally now. Everyone, this guy, influencers jumping off a bridge, we're all going to do the same thing, and it's going to ruin society. So
and on top of that, though, is that when you have someone who gets married right out of high school or whatever because they have a baby or whatever their reasons are, they just fall in love and they want to get married, but they're young and they don't understand what's, for sure what's ahead of them. And then it doesn't work out. And now they have 2 kids and now they're not together anymore, but they're, both involved with the kids and everything. Well, now you have a young man that has 2 kids that's now on the prowl again, looking for another woman, and the young woman is on the prowl looking for another man. But both of them have the same problem, is that they're trying to find someone else, and the other people they find aren't interested in a relationship that has 2 kids attached to it. So then you have a whole nother mess, because now you have another person that's interested in the person, but they're not interested in the kid. So they don't want a relationship. They just want to have a sexual relationship. So, and that's a lot of baggage in itself, because now you have more emotions and stuff tied in with the sex, but they don't want to pursue more after that. So, it adds so much, because nobody's thinking about what the potential of the future of the relationship would be. And if we could get more people to understand that, then maybe wouldn't have so many relationships messing up, and dissolving simply because they didn't know who each other was, you know what I mean? Because they didn't take any time, because they were too busy with the hormones, letting that control the whole relationship, that they never found out what what their potential could have been, because they jumped right in with both feet.
If my life story or my resurrection basically proves anything good's going to happen, that's going to be a ray of hope, because I still have hope, even though the world may fall apart. If it does, I'm going to be okay no matter what, because I'm right now, I am content with where I am. Even though I have nothing, I am going to still rise, because I now know what I need to do. Continue to release all the pain and suffering. Because as of yesterday, I have nothing. I really have only what I have here in front of me. It's very few things. And my wedding anniversary for my former wife who passed away is on the 7th. So it's basically a crossing of the streams to another new life, where I'm just starting out new. And I basically contacted my friend, and I basically said, you think about it, and if you want to get together and do something, we'll go do it. And then basically a 20-year gap of not being together and coming back together, and it may happen. If it doesn't, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I'm ready now to commit to life and have good, fun times. And again, this story is just a distraction. It just proves that, yes, tragedies happen because people are irresponsible, and we learn what the lesson of irresponsibility is. This person should have, taken. In the 50s in New York, they had the high schools had gun classes. Yep. You took your gun to this, and because again, people grew up with a mother and father and knew, here's what you do, boom. But then they lost it because the government said, hey, well, we need break these things up. We need to do these things. We need to put more drugs. So all of the everything you see, fentanyl, all this stuff, it's not cartels. It's the CIA and all that shit too. They're doing it. They want to destroy America. They want us to rip apart and be sedated and not know what's going on. So it's a shit show. But again, the best thing about here, don't despair, because we have each other. And no matter what, I'm not going to give up. I'm not bending the knee to anything like this, because that's what I'm doing. Stand up straight. And I'm going to come back fighting.
That's great. I think it's awesome. And I wish more people would do that. I wish more people would think about what they want in their future before they just jumped in head first.
I had so much.
Oh God, why did I do this? It's too late then.
But yesterday was so funny because I went to go get my cannabis, and I only had $60, so I could only get one vape, and I got it, and I was in pain. And I said, yeah, this will help. So I said, take care, guys. I'll talk to you later. And I start walking out, and I fall flat on my ass, straight over. I just fall down right there. I went, shit. And I went, crap. But then but then here's where I say there's a mystery out there. I fell down on my left hip. And for the last few weeks, I've been pounding it with my massage gun because it wouldn't pop, and I think it popped. So I was meant to fall down.
Well, if it helped you when you fell, then it's a miracle. Then
that's the whole point. That's the whole point. We have to believe in the miracle. So basically, here's the one thing I want to say from the bottom of my heart. Janet, you are a miracle. Bruce, you are a miracle. Everybody here is a miracle. Remember that. You are a winner. You are life. And remember, you are loved no matter what. I'm not, when I say that I'm the master of indifference, it's basically, I'm no longer going to let any distraction, ruin my vibe anymore as of today. And I'm fighting back because, again, I feel different. I'm moving different, and I want everyone to start doing stuff. I want to basically help everybody to start. No more despair. Let's be happy and let's get things done and start building businesses and changing it back, because let's get good content and go out there and let the shit show run on. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. So, Bruce, is there anything else you want to talk about? Another one.
We could lighten the mood for a little bit.
Okay. Well, what was that? Is that the one with the woman?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I'm going to start sharing here in just a second.
But I wanted to say hello to Critical Thinking and Drinking. He is a person I follow on X. And thank you for joining us tonight. I appreciate it.
Let me know if you're ready to go there.
And then we have a few other people in here. Let's see. I'm trying to find everyone in here. Say welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey.
So
my buddy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who else is in here?
This is the best guy, the best European I know.
Yeah, there's quite a few new people in here tonight.
That's how it should be.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Everybody should be here.
We really appreciate it. Okay, I'm ready. Here we go. I'm going to add this.
Right. From the New York Post. Dateline, November 3rd, 2023. Thrift store left in sticky situation after customers will not stop donating used sex toys.
Oh, no. That's disgusting.
So
I would never, ever think of people donating stuff like that.
What a buzzkill. A thrift store benefiting a children's charity in the United Kingdom was left with something of a mess on its hands after lusty locals refused to stop donating their used sex toys for resale. The Barnardo's branch in Gorinson, Wales was forced to issue a public appeal over social media after sustaining an avalanche of adult items as the store brings in underage volunteers who often end up uncovering the naughty knobs and bobs while sorting through the donation pile. Could those of you who kindly donate please be mindful that we are a children's charity, and as such we have a range of ages on our wonderful volunteer team, the organization wrote for Wales Online. We therefore ask that you refrain from donating your used and unused marital aids. The thrift store further attempted to deter the drop-off of any more kinky collectibles by claiming that they have security cameras set up at the donation sites. These items can be traced back to their owners, they warned, and you can get a DNA sample.
Oh my God.
It's
it's like those kids that hold up the dildo, the vibrator as a microphone. It's a microphone. What is it doing? What is it doing, Mommy?
Well, the fact that somebody would want to donate that would have to be a prank, but I don't know. I mean, I just can't believe it because they just throw them in the trash.
The officials did not disclose what specific sex toys the Barnardo's branch had received. In an additional statement, a spokesperson for Barnardo's said they were looking to receive items of a more G-rated nature, not G-spot related nature.
Oh my!
We are
terrible.
Right in the G-spot, baby.
Always huge appreciative of donations from the community. But it's fair to say that these items aren't quite the sorts of toys that we're looking for, the Spock stated. The official did not disclose, again, they did not disclose what kind of specific sex toys the Barnardo's branch had received.
You know what? I have to confess something. This is all my fault.
Why?
Because all these ladies, once they had me, they returned their sex toys.
Well, I guess that's a win for you.
So
I had to throw a
they typically will approve the donation of used clothes, shoes, jewelry, and books. This winter, the frontline staff at Barnardo's will be helping struggling children and families across Wales by providing them with essential items like food and clothing, the spokesperson said. The money raised from our shops helps us to carry on this vital work. But while Barnardo's might block sex toy donations, some people don't have an issue with using other people's personal play items. Earlier this year, a woman went viral on social media after saying she had to move out of her apartment after her roommate borrowed her vibrator.
Oh my.
God, that's disgusting.
It was so crazy I had to move out.
Yeah, she's probably very embarrassed. But the fact that somebody's digging in your think about it, someone's going in your room in your apartment and digging in your drawers.
That's great.
Now you got to show everybody what it was, so they won't think that you're some
okay,
wild.
I'm going to stop. I got to see what Ruben just did there. Okay,
it's my massage.
So
it's
I'm
for his
saying,
sore muscles.
This here, I mean, there's so many better alternatives than like borrowing somebody else's stuff. Like you could just watch a movie and you can enjoy a fine film that people made together.
Or just go down to
Ram.
the bar and find somebody. Because I'm sure it can't be that hard, right?
It will be hard.
All over the place. I mean, well, that's what I'm saying. There's bars everywhere, you'd think, or liquor stores, or people standing on corners.
Man walks into a bar.
Well, not for me, because I'm out in the middle of the country, so there's not really very many bars or anything. Plus, I'm in a dry county, so
I just
go a long ways.
What's your drink of choice? I wanted to read
you that story. I thought it was important because we don't want to get too serious here. We do want to retain our edge, our irreverence.
Yeah.
What's your drink of choice, Janet?
For what?
Oh my, alcohol drink.
Oh, I see. I like wine spritzers, I guess, and like fuzzy navels, which is a drink with peach schnapps and orange juice and vodka. Those are really good.
Nice.
Just fruity drinks. I like, and I love wine and champagne, white wine.
What about sangria?
No, I don't really like red wine.
Oh, okay. Bruce?
My sister does, though.
Oh, really?
Yes.
They
all like red wine. Yeah. Okay. They seem to all like it. I'm the only one of the weird ones that likes white wine.
No, I'm serious. I'm you know how it is. We do a seance and call your dad.
What?
Bruce, what's your favorite drink?
Mead.
Oh.
Mead?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm a big fan of mead.
Isn't that like beer?
Wait. It's a honey wine. That's honey what it's closest to.
Do you brew it yourself?
I can. It's really not hard.
Respect. Well, that's what I'm saying. If you gave it the proper name. No, I'm serious. That's how you do it. For me, it's old fashioned. Basically, I've always liked the old fashioned. Or cognac.
My favorite. I do like beer soy based, Jeremy. You're right, but homemade mead is the way to go. If I've got the time and I've got the space, it's not hard to do. It doesn't take up much. I'm going to be looking for a way to get rid of these two computers that I had because they're older and I just want to clean off a desk so I could put my miniatures there and have a proper workstation, etc. But I think that could also turn that workstation into an area for brewing, and that would be rather pleasant. Mead is great. I like a Marzen style beer, which is what we just had at Oktoberfest, and then tequila.
Okay.
Tequila straight, or actually just on the rocks is perfect.
Okay. You let me grab my tequila bottle so I show it to you. Just keep on talking. Let me grab it. I'll be back.
Well, so can I bring up this thing that I saw? One of the reasons why I decided to call the show, Common Sense is a Superpower.
Let's get to that.
Okay, because I'm going to present it. I want to show you guys this article. Okay, hold on. Hopefully I'm doing this right. Oops, that's the wrong one. Shit, I do it wrong every time.
It's okay.
Okay, here it is. Now, all right. I'm gonna try it one more time. Oh God, let me do the right one. Okay, I think I'm doing it right. This whole thing, it's a new report suggests changes for Oregon's graduation requirements. State education officials recommend adding a future planning course and removing the testing requirements for students. So basically, it's a bill called Senate Bill 744, and they want to stop having kids be required to pass these tests in order to graduate from high school. So basically, even if they can't fully read and write, that they'll still get a diploma. That's basically what this is saying. In the first review of Oregon's graduation requirements in 15 years, the Oregon Department of Education examined graduation requirements in other states and solicited feedback from thousands of Oregonians. And the report concluded that Oregon's graduation requirements should change to be more equitable and better aligned with the businesses and colleges want for future employees and students. See, so if they're not really happy with the idea of people graduating without understanding how to read and write and be able to do arithmetic, because how are you supposed to progress anyone to take over the jobs, right? And stuff in your state and in your towns and your cities if they can't even fill out an application for a job or be able to read the instructions on how to do certain things at their job. So they're making changes to try to fix some of the things that they decided that they didn't want to do because they couldn't get enough people to graduate from high school because they weren't learning anything. So I thought that was pretty pitiful.
Well, I mean, it's interesting that they even talk about the fact that they want to have kids be ready for college, but they're not going to be talking about arithmetic, reading, writing. Like, what are they going to do?
We were making fun of people all the time was the whole thing about being able to learn lesbian basket weaving, stupid shit like that, because they're trying to process as many kids as they can with the money that they're making off these kids, but we got to get them to graduate somehow, right? And we got to get them into our colleges to make money for them to have a degree. But what are they going to get degrees in when they don't know how to do anything? You see, so that's why you're seeing more and more of these stupid courses for people to take, because there's no jobs. There's no jobs for these people because they can't do anything.
Right.
It's pathetic. I just don't see where's our country going to be in 20 years?
Idiocracy?
Have you ever seen that movie, Janet?
Which one?
Idiocracy.
Oh my God.
I haven't seen it. Why? Who's in it? What is it about?
What's about to happen? What's going to happen to us?
Everybody's mediocre.
I'm going to put the movie opener in your Discord.
Okay.
And then you can watch that as you see fit.
Okay.
And you're going to enjoy it, but you're going to be like, why do I like this so much? This is exactly what's happening to us right now.
You may start crying too.
Well, the thing is that I feel for our children, and the sad fact is that all the parents that are taking their kids out of school and putting them in private schools or homeschooling them and things like that, those children are the ones that are going to actually have a chance to actually be able to take care of themselves when they're adults, because they'll be able to pay their way, buy their food, fix their cars, do all these things because they actually have an income and they can afford to do it. But it's all the other kids whose parents aren't worried about preparing them to survive on their own. Those are the ones that I worry about. And I feel sorry for them having parents that have any common sense, you know what I mean? To want their children to be able to survive. And that's where we're collapsing in our society, and not just in America. It's in lots of other countries. I see more and more homeless people, more and more people that, can't make a living, even with two people working. They're barely making enough money to even keep their heads above water, so I just don't see how, and it's bad enough that we have dum-dums running our countries that are spending money like, it's growing on trees, and then they wonder why there's not enough people to work and pay taxes so that the countries can keep spending more money. I mean, none of it makes any sense to me. I'm just shocked by all of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just sad. And I just don't see how it's going to ever end until we're all under the thumb of the government, because none of us can do anything for ourselves. Right. And then the government has to dole out jobs, like in some countries where you can't even pick where you want your kid to go to school because the government picks it for you. They say, well, you got this, you got that, your kid's going to do this, and you're going to do that.
That's all it is.
So, I don't know. It's really scary.
Bruce, look at this.
I mean, but kids are smart. I mean, if you hand a 2-year-old kid, a phone, and you keep giving it to him to play with, over time, the kid learns how to do a lot of things on their own.
Right.
But that's still not speech. That's still not math. There's a lot of things that they can't learn from playing with the phone. So, you want kids to be able to be inventive when they grow up.
Why do you need to balance a checkbook? Why do you need to learn math? You have a phone; it does everything for you. Why do you need a car? You have Uber.
Because you have to have money to buy the phone. The phone's $900 or more, and then you have to pay a monthly fee to have service on that phone, or you have to have internet. You have to have all these other things you have to pay for.
I'll get an Obama phone, and I'll get free internet and all that stuff. It's just, people are just like, it's like weird.
Yeah, well, it's because they were raised to think that everyone owes them something.
Yes.
See, I didn't have that. I had parents that would discipline us. If we didn't do our homework, we didn't get to do other things that were fun.
We live in a free country. They think everything's free. No, it's not. That's not what it means.
This is supposed to be America.
No, but the one thing I hate that everybody says, or not everybody, that the left says is, it's Trump's a threat to our democracy. This election is the most important for democracy. Democracy is so important. Democracy is the most evil thing on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
But
we don't live in a democracy.
And I don't want to.
I know, but we live in a republic. But you wouldn't know that by listening to anyone who's on TV.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
They don't ever talk about us being in a constitutional republic. And people don't know what that means. They don't understand how laws are made. They don't understand anything because they're not learning anything in school when it comes to those things. Exactly. They have to take classes after they graduate from high school, go to specialty schools or technical schools or whatever to learn anything anymore. They're not graduating with any skills on how to be able to go out and just get a job right out of school, or part-time jobs in the summer. I mean, I mowed yards, I babysat. I did a lot of things in the summertime to make money so I'd have money to buy special things I wanted for the next year in school. So, I mean, what are all these other kids doing?
Yeah.
They just sit around waiting for mom and dad to give them an allowance. And then when they're in high school, they have a vehicle they're driving because their parents are paying for it. Their parents are paying for their clothes. Their parents are buying their cell phones. And then you hear all these kids that are getting in trouble and they're like, well, I don't know what to do. My son's not doing very good in school. He's not listening. He's not doing this, that, and the other. And I'm like, okay, well, you need to ground them. Don't let them go places. Don't let them drive your car. Don't let them have this or that. Well, he's got a phone. Well, who's paying for it?
Yeah.
The parents are not parents. They don't want to hurt their kids' feelings or make their kids angry because they want to be their best friends, basically, instead of their parents. And that's part of the problem, is that we don't have parents that want to be parents to their kids.
You want to know something?
They're gonna get mad at them.
I'm going to write a list down of the top 10 most evil people in the world, or sorry, not in all of humanity. And one of the contenders right now for be on that list is the first person who thought about the idea of giving participation trophies.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's basically everyone says that I show up, I get something. No, you don't show up and get something. You have to earn something. This world is not fair. You have to work for things in your life. I have failed many times. I have succeeded many times. I've made millions. I've lost millions. And right now I am doing a live resurrection again, a rebirth from myself and all that I've been through. And I'm not giving up. I'm still fighting back. And that's what you want to do. You got to keep fighting every single day. And we see this, we're in the shit show. And what do? We can laugh at it. We can cry. We can be in fear. We can have action and live a life. And I choose life. I choose fun. And I choose just to call it out and move on and be happy. And I got this nice thing here. This is a nice vodka, not vodka, tequila.
Oh.
Yes. Tequila.
Yeah.
Very good one.
The bottle.
Very
Ooh.
nice.
Having some fun. That's what you gotta do. Fun times. What's on the docket?
Okay, let's see. What else did we have pulled up? Let me look.
There's a lot we have available to talk about here. The main thing is that we need to continue to push on getting common sense brought back at an early age, teach critical thinking, and have the kids continue to ask questions. Because now we're getting to the point where authoritarianism is the rule of the day. And if you dare say something about the emperor's lack of clothing in an argument, suddenly you're given this emotional response. You wouldn't consider possibly that maybe you're just feeling this way because you feel marginalized because of patriarchy or colonialism, or you support capitalism. And they give you this bullshit straw man argument where that's mostly unrelated to whatever the discussion's about. But they feel that if they continue in the marketplace of ideas, they're going to be revealed on how bankrupt they truly are. Is it just me, or are you guys noticing that as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. I think it's all in how the person lives their life already before they're plunged into anything else, or how they're going to deal with it. I mean, I don't know how to explain it any different than that. Because a lot of people, they grow up and they don't realize any of this stuff because they're not forced to look at any of it. It doesn't ever affect them in their everyday life, and until it affects them, that's when they go, what? It's like a lot of people aren't even realizing half the stuff that's going on now because in wherever they live, or because they live in a more rural lifestyle, a lot of these things haven't affected them yet. Like they've never had a transgender person ever do anything at their school, or they have never had to worry about at their high school having a transgender student that's sharing the bathroom with their girls and volleyball team, or I don't know. I'm just trying to pull some things out because they haven't been affected by any of it yet. It's not reality to them because they haven't seen any of it. I mean, does that make any sense?
Sure.
Perfect sense.
Okay, so until it's right there on them, they don't realize it even exists because it just goes past them, and they're not on a certain app. Maybe they're not on Facebook, maybe they're not on X, they're not on Instagram. So to them, they haven't been confronted with any of these things yet.
Case in point, you know, when you mentioned the idea that you feel, if you don't know until you feel the pain, what's going on in
Mm-hmm.
New York with the migrants, it's
Mm-hmm.
insane.
Yeah, any of
And
that.
and one of the side effects, I don't know, I've seen it now, unfortunately. What's the biggest thing about is prostitution is booming in that area. It's
Mhm.
insane. It's in, and again, I'm going, we're repeating history again. It's the 70s again.
But if you think about it, when you have apps like Instagram, TikTok, OnlyFans, and all that, and you got all these people, girls and guys, that can make money by using those apps and not having to actually go to like get a job at a factory or an office or in a retail store. They can make money doing this, and they can make 10 times what their friends make at their job, right? So
Yeah.
why would they ever want to work at trying to find a better job doing that when they can just get on OnlyFans and chat or talk or do whatever it is that they, do yoga positions or I don't
Sure.
know, whatever it is that
Well,
Malay people do.
Squatting
here's a
And
for
very
subs.
wait, I can give you a very pragmatic, a very cold reality.
yeah.
Back in the mid Wild West, you had women out there also run the Randall brothels, all that stuff. That's why in Wyoming
Mhm.
were the first to get the right to vote, because they were so powerful. So we had our only fans, you know, on the western side there. They owned the brothels and they had the girls and they made sure they had. It's, again, it was a big thing back then. We hide that aspect, and again,
Mhm.
this is before 1920, the right to vote. So women had control. They did things behind the scene. They acted, they were manipulative. They did things. What's up? The whole idea of the femme fatale, Mata Hari, what she did, with this being spies, the female spy culture, which I don't know. There should be a movie about that historical thing that actually happened. Not the fact that she can beat somebody up, but she can seduce them. That's the thing. They don't teach history, and it blows my mind. And then it's going to happen again. We're going to have you're going to have prostitution. You have gangs. You're going to have the mob battles going to happen, and all this. It's the collapse of society again. But again, on
Mhm.
top of another war, my fear is the whole war thing. Because again, we are dealing with more countries that have nuclear weapons, and people willing to do it for their beliefs, not because
Mhm.
of a cause, not because of oppression, not because of what's going on, because they believe they have to do it. Again, I'm not conflating the oppression of the Palestinians and everything like that. I'm saying
Yeah.
the doctrine of Islam, the doctrine of the radical jihadi, is that they have to bring about the apocalypse. That's what their goal is. War is their goal. Chaos is the goal.
Yeah, it's it's an idea that a few of them have, and they push it on others.
Yes.
And if they're higher up, then they're the ones that get their way, and everybody else is going to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I can understand what you're talking about with that. But well, here, let's see. This is something someone posted. Joe's Atmosphere. OnlyFans is a pipe dream. The percentage of ladies who make money doing it is minuscule. That's true, but men make money on there too. It's not just women. I knew a gentleman who was making cakes once a month or twice a month. He would bake a cake. His wife would film him. He would wear nothing but an apron as he did it. And he would make a bundt cake or whatever else, from scratch. And he said he made like $3,000 a month. That's good money for being on there a couple times a month, right? So as long as there's always a person that's willing to pay for something like that, whether it's just I've seen a few where you do a visual or a video chats or whatever, and you charge so much a minute, right?
Right.
And who knows what you talk about. I guess it depends on whatever it is you sign up with the person that that's wanting to pay you, how much, whatever, for people that are lonely or whatever else, they pay someone to sit and talk to them, I guess, or something. I don't know. I don't have that, and I'm never going to have OnlyFans or any of those type of things. But I can see why these people are tempted to do it. I mean, because to them, it's something they're willing to do anyways, but someone's willing to pay them for it. Like I've had many people approach me on my TikTok or my Instagram saying, I'll be your sugar daddy. All you have to do is be there for me, listen to me or talk to me and stuff. And I'm like, I know that's a scam. I've never even worked at it, because why would anyone want to pay me just to sit and talk to them? That's, to me, is ridiculous, when they can find a million other people that would, probably do it for nothing. So, I don't know. I just think that it's a scary thought to know that someone's willing to sell themselves for a few dollars. I don't know. To me, it's sad. It's really sad that anyone has to live that type of life.
Well, it's interesting that I did talk to somebody who was slightly mentally ill a few months ago, and they basically gave me a perspective that's very, very dark, in the idea that they were raised the fact that women hold the power, and it's all done behind the scenes. And it was a very brutal aspect that men don't appreciate them, but they were dealing with their parents who deal with abuse and all that stuff, and they had abuse as well. So there is that whole idea that they basically are feral in their way. People are turning toward their own baser instincts for survival. And again, it's the idea of not having a family, not having that structure, and not having as a community. People are more isolated now and more lonely than ever they were before. So that has to be addressed too.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's just going to get worse. The cycle, or the circle,
Yep.
That type of circle just gets bigger and bigger. And when you have a government that constantly tells people, come, we'll pay for your school, we'll help you get a job, we'll help you find a place to live, we'll do this, that, and the other, and all you got to do is walk over the border. You know what I mean? So, but the thing is, the only people that are paying for it are the people that actually have jobs right now. I mean, you have a job, let's say you work at a chicken plant, okay? And you're making, I don't know how much, whatever amount of money you've been earning, because I don't know how long you've been working there, but you're making this money, you're paying for your house, you're paying to buy food and gas for your vehicle, insurance on your car so you can drive and keep license tags on your car and all that. And then you realize that you're doing all this, and then they're taking all this money out of your check. You're paying more for food, you're paying more for gas, you're paying more for everything. And then you find out these people that live next door in this rent house or whatever, the house is paid for them by the government, and they're getting food stamps and they're getting whatever, and their kids are going to your school with your kids, and they're not paying any taxes,
right?
Because they don't have jobs, and it sucks. So what's the incentive? Why work your ass off to be treated like a secondhand citizen by your own government? I can see why people are upset about that. I think it's bullshit.
Well, they want, again, the government wants to promote and have that underground economy where people do things behind the scene, so that they have something that they're so desperate they have to do it, so that when they do get caught, then the whole idea of having them being informants or things like that you're going within, again, it's this vicious cycle of trying to force people to do things. That is why they do in the neighborhoods. It's why they put the liquor stores in the black neighborhoods. That's why they push the drugs in. That's why they broke up the black family. They did do that. Again, the black people aren't wrong when they say it's institutionalized.
Yep.
But it's, again, the way it's institutionalized, it's not the white people doing it. It is agencies setting up to do it. Social workers wanted to earn their money, get their stuff. Hey, just, have baby daddies, 3 baby daddies and all that stuff, and you can have all these things. They did that, and and again, it's generational. on and on and on.
Mm-hmm.
Be a single mother. You don't need a father. Want to be a strong, independent woman. On generation, and it's these people get sick of it.
Yeah, I saw a video. It was a couple years ago. It really opened my eyes because it was a woman, and she wasn't black, but she wasn't white. So I'm not going to say the race she was, but she was talking about how you could get a EBT card and how you can afford to get your nails done and your hair done and different things as long as you keep having babies. And she was talking about, I think she had 3 kids at the time, and there were different dads with each kid, whatever. And she was telling people how to make money, basically having babies. And I was heartbroken over it. I couldn't believe that they use their children as pawns to get things. It was really heartbreaking.
Yeah, but the thing is that we already know what's going on with what they do to children. All the 83,000 that are missing kids, and the whole Planned Parenthood being accused of selling body parts now, because again it came out, that's official. So again, and the fact that they just they disregard. What's this? A clump of cells. They do not embrace life. It's a cult of death.
Yeah, and the sad thing is that when someone in the community, let's say someone in the community sees or finds out that this person is using their kids to get more stuff, basically a bigger apartment for free, more minutes on their phone, a month. They get all their shots. The kids getting all this stuff in the food or whatever for free, basically. And as long as the mom doesn't get a job, which they just work under the table. They do nails for people or hair or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't know what they do. But they're doing all this stuff and they're getting cash for it or they're selling it. Let's say they get like 4 gallons of milk a week and this, that, and the other. So they'll sell 2 gallons of milk to someone else for money. So the thing is, once you find out about it and you try to turn them in, you try to tell them, hey, this person is selling this and doing that. And then they don't do anything. They go, well, we don't have enough people to keep track of that. We don't have this, we don't have that. And it's like, they don't want to fix it. They don't want to change it because then, that's too much hassle or whatever. But the only ones that suffer to me that I see are the kids.
Right.
The kids are the ones that are suffering because they're not being treated like a child. They're not being able to be a kid because they're used as a pawn, and they don't want their kids to ever achieve anything, because if their kids achieve anything, then the cycle's broken. You know what I mean? If the kid ends up, being 12 and it says, hey, I want to start my own business. I want to start a lawn service or something like that, because the child doesn't want to stay in the rut that they're seeing that their mom is staying in, or they're the way their family's being run because they want a dad, or I don't know, right. Just to me, it's like, we don't have a way of government. Our government's not set up to really care and try to fix it so that the kids aren't in this vicious cycle that they want to break out of it. They want to be able to do more with themselves.
Everything is deliberate. The idea, the fact that, again, it's as basic as, like I said before, the thought experiment. Everybody out there right now, that thought experiment. Remember when you were 10 years old and all the wonder and happiness you had in your life. And then think about who your hero was. Who was your hero? Okay. And then then again, basically say, no, I'm sorry. That's then I basically say, now pretend that you're 10 years old now. Who would your hero be if you had these people? Then you're freaking out right now going, shit, I had no heroes.
Pinochet!
They want no heroes. Yeah, exactly.
Pinochet is my hero.
Oh, no.
I've seen the meme. I've seen the meme where it's like, show us your dream job, and it shows a little boy and he's on the helicopter and he's pushing out little stick figures, and there's a pile of stick figures, and it says "dead pile of communists," and it's like the teacher at the top of the paper says "F, see me after class."
It's funny.
It is, and I don't know if it was real or not. I don't give a shit. It was funny. That was all I needed it to be. But thank God for memes. He's right. Nobody promotes self businesses like a lemonade stand. When you're 8 years old and mom's told you if you want something, you can go sell lemonade for it, and she buys you a 35-cent package of lemonade, and you go sell your lemonade cups for 50 cents. That's pretty badass. That teaches you about capitalism. We just had.
But the sad thing is, haven't you seen those different things on the news where you have a kid or a couple of kids and they want to get some skateboards, or they have something they really want, and their parents told them, well, figure out how to get the money and then I'll take you to the store and I'll let you buy it, right? Well, then the kids come up with, hey, we'll make lemonade stand, or they'll rake leaves, or they'll do different things. Well, they come up with a lemonade stand as one of the ways they're going to make money. And then the neighbor calls the cops.
Yep, I've seen that.
These kids are doing this without a license, or they're worried that the lemonade might make someone sick, or, I mean, it's just pathetic. You can't have a kid be able to do anything because you got some crotchety old person in the neighborhood to stop you from being able to do it.
2 + 2 equals fish here. A kid, let's say 13-year-old kid here, right? Or wants to do a lemonade sale, does all this, sets it all up of its own free will, gets out there, and then police come in here and get him, right? That same kid, I want to transition. Can do it on his own. No problems. That makes this is upside down, inside out, and totally dark.
We just had the greatest day for capitalism earlier this week, and you might not be understanding what I'm saying, but I'm going to tell you about what is a common practice in my family. I've had it happen. I've done it to my cousin's kids. This is the Halloween dad tax. Your kid gets all dressed up, gussied up, goes out on Halloween. We don't really see a whole lot of this where I live. We had like 5 kids walking around on Halloween, because whenever I tried telling my other neighbors about what Halloween's about, they said, only in America would you try to sell diabetes to children. And I thought, you need to go back to your fucking country and go see if you can fix it. Stop being over here. Anyway, Halloween is a great holiday because you send your kid out, you get your nephew or niece dressed up, and they look so good. They're trying to be like Elliot and his brother and his sister Gertie, and they're trying to go patrol the neighborhood, and they got their little ET in the front basket. And when they come back home, it's tax time. What do you mean tax time? It's not April 15th right now, but this is tax time. Let's see your candy. What? Let's see your candy. And peanut M&Ms used to be my thing. In fact, that's still a really high quality candy in my opinion. I just don't want to see M&Ms because they support BLM. But this is an opportunity for you as a child provider or mentor, for you to teach the kid the value of taxation and capitalism, which there is no value to taxation, it's theft. And this is about capitalism, which no good deed goes unpunished. And this is how you can teach them the ways of the world. When the kid comes back home, you're like, all right, let's see your candy. And you take what you want because you're the parent. That's exactly what happens. You're the parent. They're the kid. They do as you say. They don't have to like it. But you take your whatchamacallits, or you go for your Reese's peanut butter cups if that's your thing. I miss the crunchy variety. You remember crunchy peanut butter cups? I do. Those are good. I got to say that this is a perfect holiday to teach kids about the shitty practices of the government. And what better way to do it than by taking the one thing they love, which is the ability for them to have sugar and dopamine.
You can teach everything to children by the analogy of Halloween candy.
But see, that is good parents, okay? And there still are great parents out there that do those types of things with their kids. My parents did it with me. I remember we grew up on Air Force Base, so we've got to take a whole pillowcase. We took a pillowcase with us out trick-or-treating. And when we get home, we'd all have to take all of our candy and dump it in the middle of the living room. So there was 5 of us kids, and we dumped it out, and it was a huge mountain, of candy. And my dad would go through it and take everything out he wanted. And my mom would take some, dad tax or whatever. But the thing is, my mom would take it all and put it in a box. And we would have to ask for candy, each day or each week. We'd get so many pieces of candy out, and that was our candy allotment for the week. So if we took good care of it, now what I would do is I didn't like chocolate. I hardly ever eat chocolate. I like toffee and, stuff like that. Popcorn balls. That was one of the ones I liked, and stuff like that. So what I would do is I'd take half of my candy would be chocolate, and then I'd take the kind I liked, and gum or whatever. And when my sisters would run out, then I would, get money. I would say, well, give me 50 cents and I'll let you have this piece of candy or whatever. And they would pay me. So I had money. I put money in my piggy bank because of my sisters. So, but that's how I learned to make more money. And same thing when I was able to use my mother's car when I was in 11th grade. I was able to drive my mom's car to school, and I would take the other kids from down the street if they wanted to ride with me to school, but I made them pay me 50 cents. I charged them 50 cents to ride in the car to school and back. So it was 25 cents there, 25 cents back, but I used that to put gas in my car. So I always had gas money. So little things like that. So to me, that wasn't bad. It was me thinking about, how am I going to do these things without having to spend all the money I made over the summer at my part-time job, right? So, but the thing is, the kids loved it. My kids loved it.
I must have been too nice. I was too nice then, and as a kid then, I guess. God, all the things that I was weird.
Well, see, I didn't have a boyfriend in school. Both my sisters, both the one above me and the one below me, both had boyfriends. So their boyfriends would come pick them up and take them to school. So I drove. So I just take like 4 other kids, $1, every 2 days from each kid. Gives us 50 cents a day. So I made a couple dollars a day just driving kids to school and picking them up and taking them home. So, Janet, and it was on my road. I didn't go off in any streets. They either lived within a straightaway from school, and I stopped on the way there or on the way home, and didn't have to go on any major roads or anything. So it didn't waste my gas. So I was very picky, but it paid off. And to me, I thought it was smart. So my dad thought I was pretty smart. So I made my dad happy. So that was good. But, it's just sad that it seems like we don't have a lot of kids today that are encouraged to come up with things like that on their own, businesses, how they would raise money, how they would save money. Because we have a lot of kids now that have no idea how to save money, how to, do anything basically, even when they graduate from high school, because they're not taught things in school anymore. So that's sad.
That's the way of our world. I mean, this is what they wanted. The Rockefellers wanted an American citizen that was barely able to spell their name, but they could operate machinery. This is what they want. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This has been in progress for many years. This is nothing new.
Oh, it's deeper than you think.
Oh,
the first.
This is huge.
The adaptation of, well, again, remember the creature from Jekyll Island. Yep,
I know.
Well, do you want to, Bruce? Do you want to talk about the Al Pacino thing?
Oh, yes.
What?
Okay. This is something that Bruce had showed me earlier before we started. And I think it's really good for the whole thing when it comes to common sense. For men to, you guys have as much control over your body as women do. At least I think you do. And if you just got to think smarter. and not let young women take advantage of you just because you might have money now. As you've gotten older, you've saved money, you've worked hard, and we'll see.
How much is Al Pacino paying Noor Alfallah in child support? This is Inside Their Deal, story by James Crowley on Hollywood Life.
Mm-hmm.
The Scarface star has reportedly reached a deal in child support plan for his girlfriend, Noor Alfallah, 4 months after she gave birth to their son, which is funny because the verbiage says girlfriend, Noor Alfallah, but we find out this is really misinterpretation. Al Pacino is a proud dad to 4 children, the youngest of whom is his son Roman, 4 months old. The legendary actor, 83, had his youngest son with his girlfriend Noor Alfallah, 29, back in June of this year. Shortly after giving birth to their baby boy, Noor filed for physical custody of him in September. Amid their legal proceedings, the couple has reached an agreement on the Oscar winner paying child support. Here are all the details you need to know about their agreement. The couple's relationship was revealed in April 2022, but it was later revealed that the two of them had begun seeing each other during the COVID-19 pandemic. Noor's pregnancy was revealed back in May. It was confirmed she'd given birth to the baby boy on June 15th of this year. I am confirming that Al Pacino and Noor Alfallah have welcomed a son named Roman Pacino. A rep for the couple told Daily Mail. Amid their legal filings, there were rumors that the couple had split. The couple had split, but the pair were spotted on a date night in Hollywood in mid-October 2023. How much does Al Pacino pay per month? A Los Angeles judge ordered Al to make monthly child support payments to his girlfriend, according to the court documents from page 6. His monthly child support payments will be $30,000 per month. But there were a few other finances that the Scarface star will be required to cover. $30,000 per month. But there's other finances. In addition to the monthly payments of $30,000, Al will be required to give Noor $110,000 right off the bat before going to monthly payments. He'll also be required to pay $13,000 for a night nurse and other medical expenses not covered by health insurance. He'll also be required to put $15,000 per year into a fund to cover Roman's education. In addition to the payments, the pair will have joint legal custody of their boy, but Noor will have primary physical custody. $15,000 for school per year, plus $110,000 to start, like a down payment plan, and $13,000 for the night nurse and other medical expenses not required by health insurance, in addition to his $30,000 per month. My parable of this story is for all of you men, out there that are seeking companionship, to choose right, to choose someone who honors and respects you, who does not besmirch you, who does not make you feel as if you are a cash grab. This is an abomination. This relationship, this financial situationship she's gotten herself into is not a blessing. This is going to bite her in the end, and we're all going to be here to watch it. Mark.
Yeah, you know why?
Go ahead.
It's the reason it's going to bite her in the end is because he's 83 years old. Okay, and when he's gone, he won't be there to pay the money anymore.
Yep.
So if she's smart, she'll be putting all that money in the bank and trying to save it, but she won't. She's going to be trying to be all looking good all the time, because now she's got to get herself another guy that's got money to be able to replace the money she's going to lose when he's no longer available. But what's sad to me, sorry, let me say this real quick before I forget, is how many men or women out there, older women or older guys, that if you're an older person and you meet somebody at a club, or she's a waitress at a restaurant and you think she's cute and she's flirting with you and you go on a few dates, she might really like you. Okay. She might really like you, but the fact that you're not wrapping anything to stop anything from happening shows me that you're willing to take the responsibility. So when the young woman that's young enough to be your kid, or the older woman, now see, the difference is the older woman isn't going to trap you with a kid if you're a young man, right? Because she's probably can't have kids anymore. But these men that keep going for these younger women that make them feel young and virile, I guess, they're risking having to be stuck taking care of a woman. It's not just the kid, it's the woman. Because if you're already in your 60s, 70s, do you want to start all over again with a newborn baby? You know, are you going to be there for your kid when it graduates from high school? Start thinking of things like that before you start sleeping with them sexually in that aspect. And think about it, because they can't trap you if you don't let them. Okay. Don't just fall for them because they got boobs or long legs. Okay, you can find an older woman that's more your age and thinks more on your level, that's probably more established and doesn't need you for your wallet. I mean, I'm just trying to give these guys a heads up so they don't get.
If you want, here, let me ask for the advice then, per se.
Okay.
I'm 55. I want to get married. Do I still have a chance to find someone young enough to have kids, or should I just go with somebody who's already...
No, I think you should go with whoever you're attracted to, but make sure the attraction is mutual by what you both enjoy. If you meet somebody and it's casual, like I said, you meet each other, your eyes meet, and you smile at each other, and you say hi, and they say hi, and you start talking, and then you say, I would really like to take you to lunch, or let's meet for coffee, something like that, and then start a relationship. You don't just hook up and go to a hotel.
Exactly.
You see what I mean?
Exactly.
It's just like going through my old calendar of what happened in 14 and 13. I'm telling you, this is terrible.
I know, but I mean, honestly, if you try to do that, then you're going to find out whether or not this person is potentially looking for you for your wallet, or whether they really want to may have some type of relationship with you. And the thing is, I can understand why you might want a hot young babe hanging on your arm, but guess what? If you want just a hot babe hanging on your arm, you can get a prostitute or a call girl if you got that kind of money.
You're better off getting a prostitute. You're better off
getting a girl that's going to look exactly what you want. If you want to go to, let's say you're going to a high school reunion or something, you want to show off to your guy friends, right, that you got some hot babe, pay someone. Don't risk getting stuck with some bimbo that's just going to take you for everything you've worked hard your whole life for. To me, it's just not, doesn't make any sense. And I wouldn't do it either. Because you sleep with someone, you're sleeping with everyone they've ever slept with.
Here's
so you
the
might
irony
end up with some disease.
Here's the irony of what you just said.
Yeah.
There's a 50% chance I'm going to take the girl from 20 years ago to the meetup in next week or week after next here in Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. And I'll basically introduce her. So I want to basically, anybody who's out there, I want red flags. If you see what I see, if it's good or bad, we'll see what happens. Be funny. Be fun to have fun like that.
Well, if she goes with you because she wants to be with you and she rides with you in a car, or she flies with, she's traveling with you and you're still talking to each other and stuff, then to me, I don't take that as a red flag. That sounds like someone who's actually interested in finding out more about you. And that's good. That's a good thing.
Right. That's why I'm.
It's the one that's like, oh, really?
Yes,
that person? Run.
No, yeah, exactly.
Run as fast as you can and get away from it because they're not interested in you. They're interested in what you might potentially give them.
Here, it's so funny to finally realize, not in a way, because I'd always say, I need to be a good man and I would work on myself. I have to be the best I can be. Okay. That was and that's true. You should always do that. But remember, here's the bottom line. You are the prize. You are the one that is going to do it. So here's the thing. And I say this for this one simple reason, because life's not fair. Someone's going to say no to you and you move on. Let it go, because again, they weren't the one. They weren't good enough for you. Move on. Boom. And keep on thinking that way. You may have one of the worst days right now, or you may have one of the worst years. We've all been through the shit show. But again, you're here. Be in the present right now. You're having fun. You're here. That's what it's all about.
Well, the thing is, you are worth it. Okay. If you meet a young woman and she shows interest in you, don't let it tip you over. Okay. Don't
no, it's not.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about any gentleman.
Oh, sorry.
Okay? In general. Don't let them talk you into doing anything that you wouldn't normally do. Step back for a moment, take a breath, and think about this. If it was your friend, okay, let's say your best friend, and this situation that you finding yourself in, okay, and it was your best friend that was in it, what advice would you give them? You see what I'm saying? Would you say, oh, it sounds too good to be true? If it does, then it probably is. And that's not just for the guys. This happens to women too. Young men hit on older women, okay? And they might be, looking to find a sugar mama or whatever, someone who's got money, someone who's going to give him things or give him prestige or whatever. I don't know. But what I'm saying is it happens in everyday relationships, not just older women, not just older guys or anything like that. It's in anything. So if you feel like you're feeling pressured into something, don't do it. Step back and say that this doesn't feel right. Think about what you're doing. That's why alcohol is not something I recommend anyone have on their first date. If you're going to have a date, don't drink. Drink one glass of wine or sip on whatever it is, your gin and tonic or whatever it is, your drinks that you like, whiskey and sour or whatever. I don't drink. I drink wine, so I don't know about all these other names. But the thing is, don't let that stop you from having a good time and maybe ruining something that could be good. This could be a real relationship that you're stepping into. So don't make a hasty decision and put more into it than it's there, or not put enough into it when it could be potentially good. Don't let alcohol or anything else cloud your judgment. Go in there with the with hopes, but don't feel pressured into doing something that you don't feel comfortable with. Whether you're a man or a woman, you shouldn't. You just should need to focus on what you think is best for you at the time. That's what I would do.
But the most important thing here is you need to believe in yourself. You need to believe in who you are.
Because you are worth it.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And again,
we're all worth it.
But here's the thing. Men need to learn the art of seduction. Again, And that's what I'm saying. Every woman that I meet now that I genuinely want to know about, I'm going to introduce myself to them, and I'm going to flirt with them hard. And again, if they flirt back, fine. But then the whole thing is like, it's done, and they walk away. I'm not going to. Again, it's if they are interested. Hey, what's your name? Then do it. That's how it's going to be with me now. I'm not going to pursue. I'm going to attract. I'm going to turn that light on, that pie beam, to attract those little moths to fly over and make it happen.
Why not?
I would go into a date with before I get out of my abode, I would take a bullet out of the chamber because I don't want to go in there with a stiff erection that controls every thought. I don't need that. I have enough problems as is, including my mental retardation.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go in clear-headed.
Level-headed, that's right.
Oh, I'm so clear-headed right now. It's crazy because again, I'm going through this whole healing process again. It happened back in February, and now it's doing boom.
If I was going to say something like my goal as a 48-year-old man is to go in and find a woman whose breasts will nurture our child of love, then I'm going to just go fuck it. And I'm going to Laredo and I'm going to cheat because in Laredo, the culture is young women go with older guys. And that's where you can find, if you really want it, you can get a woman who's built like an influencer. She's got a fat butt, thick thighs, huge boobs. And, you know, you can go down there, enjoy the local scene. They have good taco trucks. They have great food. You also learn the value of toilet paper and don't drink the water, but you learn some things down there, and you can figure things out. Now Ruben's probably sighing like, Bruce, don't do this. Like, no. If I was going for the purpose of I'm going to go
for the audience.
No. If I'm going to go build a legacy,
no. Let them know the whole reason why. For the audience, Laredo, Texas is my hometown. I was born there, so he's bringing it up. I'm slapping.
And you already know what I'm saying because you lived it and you saw this. You saw your high school friends go out with guys that were 38 and 40 years old. You saw your friends who you crushed on as a middle schooler get seduced by a guy with either money or an oil field job, and nothing in Laredo has changed. If you're 50 years old and you still don't have a kid yet, and you want a kid, you don't mind the idea of dipping into the southern springs of the Latinas, then go ahead, go down there and spin the wheel. You're gonna have increased odds of finding a crazy Latina chick, and you're gonna find out why we call them crazy Latina chicks. And I endeavor, do your best to have heart-to-heart talks and discuss things before you insert tab A into slot B. Because once the tab A into slot B happens, you meet her brother, her father, her uncle, and they have more guns than you. And you better be there for her. You better be there for her, you SOB. And don't you try moving her out of town because she deserves to live 3 blocks away from us or less. And that's exactly what will happen to you. You will be stuck in Laredo the rest of your life. Enjoy it. It is a gun-friendly community in the most literal senses. The criminals love guns down there. The cops want you to be armed because if you get shot at, hell, you might put somebody bad down. Go for it. And that's just how Laredo
Yeah, and you know that my time while I was there, I didn't live. I wasn't born. I was born there, but I didn't live there until 73, and then we left in 75 to go to California, and then we're out there, and then we came back in 1980. So from 80 to 90, I was there. 10 years in hell. And I left for Chicago. So, and then I've only been back a few times, but no. And again, no, I would just it's like to stay with them. That town is like a plague.
Whenever I when I was single, before I got married, if I wanted to feel adored or loved, I would go down to Laredo. I would go grab some friends of mine. I had friends that lived down in San Diego, Texas, and had friends in Falfurrias. So we would meet up together, the 3 of us, and we'd go into Laredo and we'd own the town for the night. And we would talk because those 2 guys lived up north, so they still had their New York style accents. And then me, who I'm a wedo, according to the locals, which, okay, that's fine. If you saw my legs on camera, you'd understand why they call me wedo.
I have not heard wedo in so many years. My God.
So
hey, look at this.
Janet, your show is filthy. Yes. So you have all of these things, and we would go down and we'd have fun in Laredo, and we'd decorate our social media with like, this is what we caught when we went fishing. And
what year was this?
2013, 2014, 2015.
Oh, okay.
In 2012, I couldn't be. I was told not to go outside the Holiday Inn in Laredo.
I was just saying. If it was before 2008.
No.
I'm just saying if it was between 19 what the fucking year was it 1980 to 2008. My father was one of the bridge inspectors for the immigration system and the Homeland Security. He was one of the head guys down there. So that's what I'm saying. So then basically anytime you went through between 1990 and 2008, my dad was in Laredo. He was the one that was one of the supervisors there for the bridges. They had like 10 of them that were there, and he was like one of the senior advisors there, and he would just be all over the place. He would travel all over the place. Yeah, he just when that was his second stint. He was in the Navy before that, so he did a lot of good things, for America, Americans, we're a proud American family in that regard.
The thing is that you need to know what you want. Okay. Know what you think you want, so that when you're looking, you have a slight idea of, when you see it, that, well, I'm interested in that. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not talking about just boobs and ass. Okay.
No.
I'm talking to the men, all the men.
Oh, sorry.
The thing is that just like Bruce said, if you have to take care of business before you leave the house, do that so that you're not at your peak already when you're looking, at a bar or whatever, or the dance club, or wherever it is you're at with your friends, at the sports bar or whatever. Try to think about it as potential future, because if you're really wanting to maybe get married or whatever, don't let the first night that you sleep together put a ring on it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Don't let that one mistake put you into a relationship that you're going to be in until that child graduates from high school, basically. Right. Even if you're married to them or not, the fact that you're going to have a child with this person puts you in this relationship, whether you want to agree with me or not. So what I'm trying to do is spare you from being stuck with somebody that's insufferable simply because all you could see were T and A. So try to get past that, and you guys will save yourselves and your friends a lot of heartache, because if you see your friend doing it, you got to tell them, hey man, don't do it. It's not worth it, because you don't know this person. You're putting yourself into a world of hurt, and you might hurt a kid. A kid that doesn't want to be born. It's not like the kid's wanting to be born. He's not asking you to make mommy pregnant. All he's saying is, I want a dad. Okay. When the child comes, they want a father that's active in their life. All children need both parents. Mm-hmm. Two parents that love each other would be the ideal situation. But if you're going to have that happen and you do the best you can, okay, that's great. But try to start the relationship off as a real relationship before you make babies. That's what I'm saying. So don't let that happen.
There's some other benefits to Laredo as well. Okay. There's other benefits to Laredo. If you're not there to partake in the local eateries, as I call them, then what you can do is you can go out and just have fun, because there is a lot of bars in Laredo that they kind of cater to the underground, which no Latino man wants to acknowledge. In many cultures, Anglo cultures, Chinese, Pacific Rim cultures, the cross-dressing man, or the guy that wants to be treated like a woman, the bottom per se, nobody ever talks about those, okay? And we never did till like 1978. Thank you, Kinsey, you bastard. So anyway, what I'm talking about here is the cross-dressing clubs, the drag shows. There's a lot of that in South Texas. There's a lot of it in San Antonio. I'll tell you that. If you love RuPaul, come to San Antonio. Even tell me about it. I'll make amends on my budget, and I'll go out and hang out with you, and we'll watch this shit because it's funny. It's a garbage dumpster fire, but it's funny. But in Laredo, like, whereas in San Antonio they mosey slowly to the finish line as far as like trying to be flamboyant and everything. In Laredo, when they are cross-dressers, they run in their flamingo dresses with as much enthusiasm as they can. They are so outwardly cross-dressing. They are so much in the RuPaul mindset that it's just a counterculture to the stoic, vaquero style of life.
Yeah. So I warn you, know what you're getting before you dive in.
But remember also the thing about Laredo, they're trapped in the past. They only play 80s music and cumbias.
Still playing 80s music at the clubs. The I call it synthwave, and it's really new because there's a lot of synthwave out there. These guys are still playing Cyndi Lauper and Huey Lewis and the News. Laredo is trapped in time.
Yes,
it's like the country western music from like 6 years ago.
But what's so weird is, again, they're trapped in like the 80s. I was there in the 80s, and I'll say this much: it was good, and it was nice in the 80s.
Yeah,
but it was the 80s. It's like, move on.
Well, okay. I'm not going to say move on. I'm going to say Laredo can do its own little thing. They're 3 hours south of me. I don't give a shit. But what I'm very happy about is that if you go down there and one of your buddies starts getting drunk, and I'll just give a real life instance what happened to me in 2014. Myself, Noe, and some of the other guys from Fleet 7 were down there for C&J Energy Services, and we were just having a good time. There was a few ladies at the bar. They were wanting to dance. They were wanting to get their hips knocked, and they were trying to select which guy they were going to go home with. And we had to leave by 8 p.m. Well, we decided we'd leave at 9 because all of a sudden here comes some trans dressers, and we can tell, like, these ladies have Adam's apples. And one of our buddies has already drank his share of Jägermeister for the entire fleet, and he's drunk so much of it that now he's just dancing with anybody. And the regular girls that just want to dance are telling him, no, don't dance with me. And so Mike goes on, and he keeps going, and he keeps going, and he bumps into one of the cross-dressers with a huge package in the dress and a very large Adam's apple. She's got a chin like Patrick Warburton. Okay.
Jeez.
And she's
terrible.
Huge fake stuffed boobs. And we know that if you look at this, you study this for like less than 3 seconds, and you're like, I'm not a doctor, but I know that's not right. And
is your friend drunk?
He is so drunk. He's got her.
That's why.
And
he's got beer goggles on.
And he's dancing with her. And we start laughing. And about 2 songs goes by, and Mike starts kissing on him in the middle of the dance floor. And we're like, oh wow, this is gonna get good. And then my friend Noe's like, I can't let this go on. I'm like, no, don't. Noe's so big, I can't hold him down. He's 6'6". He's about 360 pounds. He's a very big guy. He's a man we use every time that we find a piece of metal is stuck and we can't get it to budge. Whenever we're trying to break things or trying to put things together, we get Noe. Well, Noe gets up and Noe starts moving towards Mike. I'm like, Noe, don't do this. Let us have this last song. Let us watch this. This is great. And the Mexicans around me are laughing because they're pointing at us, and then they're talking in their little tongues in Pidgin, and they're talking about how, hey, he's trying to have his friend not go stop the drunk guy from getting a surprise. And they start telling us, saying, no, pappy, no, pappy. And we are just trying to stop this train wreck. And Noe gets to Mike, and Mike is all into this. Mike is grabbing the boobs, he's grabbing the butt. The cross-dresser is grabbing Mike with some very meaty hands, and it's funny because Mike's getting into this. She had man hands right here on the floor.
But maybe he didn't care that the Adam's apple was as big as a coconut.
He didn't see it. He didn't. I
know. That's what I'm saying.
We found out because Noe's like, Mike, I got to tell you something. And after 5 or 7 attempts, Mike finally is like, what, man? What are you trying to ruin my night for? And Noe's like, I don't think this is what you want. And the cross-dresser's like, what are you talking about? And he rips his wig off. And Mike is just slack-jawed, like, I can't believe, what the hell? And then the cross-dresser grabs Mike's wrist and shoves Mike's hand onto his dick. And so Mike now has the affirmation, like the cross-dresser thought he was going to take home this little skinny guy, and no, that's not going to happen now. So it was like the greatest reveal And I could have had one more like 5-minute span of watching this get set up, and instead, no, he had to go rush it. I was so upset. And I was like, every time we paged for Mike, we would always play the song "Dude Looks Like a Lady." Whenever we were meeting him on the radio, I would always get that on the phone, and I would play that whenever we're trying to get a hold of Mike. Bruce, stop that! And finally, the company man had to tell me to stop it. We were going to cost money at some point, I think. But it was the greatest time I've ever had in Laredo, Texas, because I realized there's a population down there that's underserved. And if you have an easily drunk friend that doesn't care as long as they're getting some attention, and then they get the reveal, oh, you got to take your friend to Laredo, Texas, and give him that bottom dropper. That is something so fun to do.
You know what they would do sometimes?
All this time that we were talking, I was trying to keep guys from, maybe getting in the potential relationship and creating a baby with somebody they don't really want to have a relationship with for 18 years or more, because they made a baby they didn't want. And then you bring up the fact that, well, hey, that might be a better situation because at least there's no babies. But the thing is that at least he had friends there that you guys did stop it, right?
We did.
Okay.
And we never let him
at least you had friends there to make sure that the BJ or whatever else entrances weren't found out, if you know what I'm saying. But not everybody has that. They're by themselves. So I just want to make sure that just because you're a man doesn't mean that you have to be sucked into a relationship like what apparently happened with, was it Al Pacino? Was that who it was?
Al Pacino is paying $30,000 a month minimum.
Yeah, for the rest of his life. Okay, but not. The sad fact is there's a real child involved. Okay, that's not going to get to be with his dad because his dad's already in his 80s. Okay, when he's born. So, because this baby was only months old, right? Yeah. 9 months old, and he's 83. So to me, that's sad for the child. And any woman that's willing to try to go into a relationship with a man that can't be there as a father for their child and make a child with someone like that is not going to be a very good mother. I mean, maybe I don't have the right to say that, but as a woman, I feel like I have a right to say that. And I think that's sad that a woman would potentially want to try to make a baby with someone when she knows that they won't be there to take care of it, or to help be there for the child so the child has a dad. I don't know.
I'm having two weird side effects right now.
You know what I mean? I just think that's selfish and wrong for any person to want to bring a child into the world knowing that one of the parents will never be around. I just think that's horrible. I wish that would never happen, but I can't control that. But I can try to give some advice to young men or older men to not get in a potential relationship with someone that the person's just going to use them for their money, or worse, have a baby with them and try to drag them for 18 years, having to make payments on a kid that they don't really want. They just want your money. So they're using your money to get your money to have a kid with you. But you were willing to sleep with them. And that's the risk that you take. Every time you sleep with someone, you take the risk of bringing life into this world. And if that's a risk that you want to take, then be ready to fight for your kid, because, and it's sad just to talk about that. But, that to me is part of the common sense thing. Use your common sense to realize that there's lots of people out there that just want to take advantage of you, on the male side or the female side. Now, if you want to be taken advantage of, great. You're going to get what you want, but they might add some potential bills to your wallet.
Right.
So just think about it.
Man. Oh my gosh.
What's wrong? What's wrong, Ruben? Tolbat wants to know.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm fine. It's what's but, two things are happening. It's kind of weird. I'm losing the weight, but I'm losing it rapidly. But it's weird. I'm not eating as much as the food anymore. It's weird because my fats is burning off. But what's so weird now inside my body, like all of my bones, all like how if you open up something's fatty and something's lean, there's a difference. One has fat on it, one doesn't. But imagine, think about it. The thing has fat on it, and then the one that doesn't is more flexible. So what's happening right now is parts of my body are actually melting away, and parts of my rib cage is flexible now, and it's freaking me out because it's like all the pain that I've been having for the last 10 years is going away, and
that's
it's basically
great.
But it's
that's
basically
just something you're going to have to get used to.
but the weird and what's really happened, what happened last night is that my thighs are very, very muscular, but they're tight all the time. And last night my hip finally released, and they went limp. They were relaxed. So I'm just
do you think that you falling down did have something to do with your one?
Probably the fact I needed to fall down. It's just like something God made me fall down, and it reset my fucking body or whatever. I don't know. It's weird, but my brain is really tingly right now. It's just like a fluid. It does feel good, but I'm getting tired. But again, the thing is that I got to continue losing weight, and today basically I'm cooking. I'm preserving my food for the whole month. Cooking like that, a very nice beef stew, because beef is so important, and they want us to. Plants are not, the plant whole based thing is a lie. It's bullshit. It's gotta be beef, baby. So I'm doing that, and I'm gonna basically restrict my food down to 200 calories or less a day, or 100, because I'm actually in the fat stores. Everything's melting away, so I'm gonna slim down, start to tone up, and then talk to the doctors when I get a job or a place to live first back, and then just continue to do it. And then to promote everybody, we should all work out. We should all get stuff going, because again, let's just have fun now. Let's just do shit together and have good stuff. I'm done with it. I want to do all these things now.
I do. I work out every other day. I try to make sure I do that. And I feel better. I feel like, because remember, I told you when I was 16, I broke the clutch off of a motorcycle on my knee. And my knee was huge, and I didn't have insurance or anything. And I just had to let it heal. And it was humongous. I had to cut my pants just so I could wear pants because my knee was so big. But ever since then, whenever I get where I walk on too many stairs, or I do, too much, my knee starts to swell and it hurts. So since I started working out, it hardly hurts at all anymore, because I'm constantly keeping my joint lubricated, I guess.
Do you still have the pants?
No.
Oh.
No, I don't have those pants anymore. Plus, after my knees finally got better, I sewed my pants back up by hand so that I could wear them. But the thing is that you don't know what old injuries are going to feel like until you start to get older, and you realize, damn, this hurts. And every time it gets cold, my knee aches, things like that. But if I do a lot of walking, sometimes it would hurt. But since I started working out every other day, it doesn't.
I say it here live, November 3rd, 2023. I had a vision of me doing parkour and hiking next year or year after, sometime in the future, because it's going to happen. So I just got to keep on pushing it.
Well, I think you can do it. I mean, I think it's wonderful, everything that you've done. I've watched some of your videos with your cooking and showing your meals, things like that, because that is an inspiration to other people.
Because the thing is, I did the video start. Thank you for that. The videos have started in January. I basically said, I'm taking responsibility. It's my fault. Right now, where we are on the brink of World War III, is my fault. I haven't done anything. And I want to basically say, you know what? I'm going to start doing something. And the first thing I have to do is stop the illness. And I'm doing it. Today I'm like 210 down, 210 pounds down. So I'm very close. I'm about 160 away, 155 away from 199 pounds. But I want to go I want to get more tone, more of this. The guy I think I want to represent, like I'm now doing like what kids would do, like who's my hero right now, like the person I would want to emulate, Jason Statham. I'm thinking about that guy.
Well, I have a couple of friends that on X that talk about, and they do spaces about their carnivore diets that they're on. And they said they've never had so much energy, and they just feel great. They said that everything that they've done on these diets has really helped them. So, I'm not a carnivore diet because I love fruits and vegetables. I love grapes. I love apples.
Well, mine is modified, but it's more fermented, because what I'll do is the beef, and I got myself some 2 chuck roasts. I got 10 pounds of beef, and then I simmered that in beef bone broth, and what else did I use? Apple cider vinegar, a whole bottle, and then I put in some hot jardinere. And then I put in some beets and potatoes, and then let that simmer for how long was it? 48 hours until it came up like it's just like liquidy. And that was today. That was yesterday and today. And then tomorrow I'm going to basically do all the vegetables and stuff and basically heat them up. And then I'm going to portion it out over the whole month, freeze it, and then eat that. That's my meal. And it's been really a godsend, because again, in there I have sauerkraut, I have fermented onions, I have beets, potatoes, all the different vegetables. Carrots are in there too, because again, it's a little bit of kick, but it's all good and healthy food, and I just love it.
And see, I take the apple cider vinegar pills every day. Take them every day. And, little things like that. I take vitamins. I have vitamin D, vitamin C, and I take them all separate. And I buy all my vitamins in gel cap forms, because I've seen a few people who have taken vitamins, the regular hard vitamins or whatever. And then one of them had to have they had a perforated ulcer or whatever, and had to have part of their stomach removed. And once they took it out, on the other side of the knots that they had in their stomach was all those pills. And guess what? They didn't dissolve, because the hard capsule, it's very hard. And by the time it comes out and you're pooping out almost a whole capsule, you must realize that your body's not absorbing those vitamins. So I started buying all gel caps. So your stomach acid will dissolve it pretty quickly, and your body is absorbing it. And I can tell when I have more energy and things like that. And plus, I work out and I tan. I tan at the place, but I focus on different muscles depending on what it is. I do my elliptical for my, and I sweat really good. And I think that's all good for your skin, all those type of things. So, you find what works for you, and you just add to it. You change it, you work around it, work on your diet, you work on your exercises, how much you drink. Because I was reading an article this morning about Brooke Shields having to go to the hospital because she had a seizure, a grand mal seizure, and she was foaming at the mouth and stuff. It was really bad. What? Yeah. Yeah, and what's that one? I'm trying to remember the actor's name. Damn it. The guy that played the voice of the raccoon.
Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper was holding her hand when she woke up in the ambulance when she was having her seizure. So the thing is that she was talking about drinking so much water, because she was trying to, rehydrate and lose weight and all this stuff. She drank so much water that it lowered all her levels. People don't realize when you drink so much water, you can lower your potassium levels and other vitamin levels in your body. Okay. So you have to do things you have to pay attention to what you're doing. while you're doing it, and don't go too far, because water is good for you, but if you drink too much water, you wash away all the other potential vitamins in your body, and you're peeing them out instead of letting your body absorb them. So you have to do it in levels. You know what I mean? Throughout the day, you drink your water throughout the day. Don't drink it all at one time or in two different times of the day, like when you're taking your vitamins. You know what I mean? There you go. And but you can do it.
That's my drink. Mm-hmm. I have a nice cup of water, and that's my drink. Shit. No, I'm serious now. I'm basically I feel like Slumdog Millionaire in a way, but Slumdog. No, in a way, because again,
I know.
I use that because again, everything is lining up. So it's like, don't drink sodas because it's full of chemicals. Drink water. Got it done. I'm done. My mouth, everything tastes sweet. Not taste sweet. That's just bad to say. Everything tastes good now.
Starting to get the flavors.
I taste every little thing now. So I'm tasting, and then I'm basically putting in my head, I have to taste everything. I have to live this life. I have to love everything. And then in doing that, boom, that's the weight just goes. I mean, I can rest at night because I know what I'm taking care of myself. But now I'm ready to. Now it's time because again, I have nothing left. I'm ready to start a life, and I'm basically I'm looking to get married, looking to have a start a life. I want to basically set roots somewhere. I'm ready to plant my seed somewhere, metaphorically and in reality.
Well, I think you get that. I really do. I really feel like you're going to find that for yourself because you're doing it at a pace. You know what I mean? You're not rushing in one direction at full speed. You're taking your time. You're thinking about what it is you want, and so I don't think you'll be sideswiped by some young bimbo with nice hooters.
No, God, no.
So again, that will happen to you, but it does happen to many of men because they try to rush around, and the first woman that shows up, that they go all in, and they're not realizing that the one person that they think that they want isn't the one they want.
Like I said, I'm the master of indifference now. I'm the prize. They come get me. If they want to pursue, I'll entertain. Again, you have to attract my attention. If not, then I'm not going to pursue you. And again, it's not mentioning you unless you intrigue me. You have to intrigue me.
If you get online and look and research and look around, you'll find out that many men and women, their second marriage lasts longer than their first one, simply for the fact that they learned a lot of things from their failure from before. Yes. Right. So when they go into the second relationship, they're a little more, their eyes are opened a little more. They're not just doing it simply because they got a TNA going on. You know what I'm saying? So why not try to do that and focus that on your very first relationship instead of wasting it and having to go through the first one when you could have it all in one? If you just took a little time to think about what you're doing before you did it. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm trying to save people from to think about it, because I've had lots of guy friends, and I tried to tell them, wow, there's something not right with this person. So you need to step back a little bit and think about it. But boy, they didn't. And they later on, they go, God, I wish I listened to you. But I wish people would listen to some of their friends the first time.
Yes.
And then maybe, there'd be less bad relationships. You know what I mean? If people would just think about it. Try to look at it as if it was your best friend, what would you tell them? What would you tell them to do in the situation you're in right now? And think about it that way.
My best friend Chuck got married in 2006. And I went to the wedding, and his family sat around me, so I couldn't stand up and say, no, don't get married to her. He was divorced by 2009. And I hate to say that, but no, 2004, 2009. And I felt bad for him because, I tried telling him this numerous times throughout the course of the courtship. All she saw with him was a paycheck, somebody to take care of her son. and she was not a good woman. She was not a good The reason why I say she wasn't a good woman isn't the fact that like she wasn't pretty or the fact that she wasn't smart. She thought she was smarter than everybody else, and she went and fucked his best friend, not me. She fucked his friend Leif,
right,
2 nights before the wedding happened.
Oh God.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, I've seen it happen to many of my girlfriends with certain men. So yeah, it happens on both sides.
I was ever so happy to find out that he had divorced her. And in 2014, I'm like, you ever been in Texas? He's like, no. And so I'm like, come on down. And I sent him plane tickets. We stayed at a place called El Tropicana, which is usually it's a hotel that caters to oil field people because their prices are kind of high. We stayed for 5 days there. The hooker count is high or was high. And I bought him a hooker. So I'm like, congratulations. Here's somebody I approve of. She'll be done with you in an hour.
Oh, what a nice gentleman you were.
I mean, it was a good thing for him because he was not feeling it. He was down there for the first 2 days. He was like, man, there's so many pretty girls in here. How are you not with one of these girls? I'm like, because I could have any one I want. If you have just quiet confidence, it'll be a lot better currency to start the transaction with that. And
yeah, because the reason that you're right about that, Bruce, is I've seen it myself. When you go in, if you got 4 or 5 friends and you go into a club or a restaurant or a pub or whatever, and you get approached by a few guys that come to your table, the ones that have the balls to come to the table and say, hey, how you ladies doing tonight or whatever, start talking, though that's the one guy that's usually going to leave with a woman. Okay. Because the women right away see a guy that's willing to talk to them, speak to them, and look them in the eye, basically, or to ask them to dance, is a person that's got confidence. Okay. And those are the guys that, for some reason, I don't know why it is, but that's the way it is that a woman wants a man that feels like they're confident that they can handle the situation or whatever situation.
I'm laughing because it's so funny. It's funny because that's happened at the meetups. Basically, the same thing happened. It happened in both meetups that I went to, the one in Vegas and the one in Orlando. It's like when we basically would be sitting down there with the guys, and they basically the waiters would come over. Hello, my dear. How are you doing? And I'll start talking. You basically say, what are you doing? Says, and I basically the end of the story was that time was I gave her my number. He says, give me a call when you get a chance. And then they were like going, what are you doing? You didn't even ask for it. You gave the number. What kind of what are you? About 5 minutes later, she texts me, hi, how you doing? So it's funny. That's the thing.
That is true. A woman, yes. Most women, I won't say all of them. I'd say most women want a man that takes charge. A man that is you can say, hey, let's go to so-and-so, or let's go eat so-and-so. You see what I mean? Instead of saying, what do you want to do? You know what I mean? Someone who's decisive and makes decisions. So don't believe all those stupid magazines that say, oh, you want the woman to make all the decisions. No, you don't want a woman that's going to tell you what to do all the time. I don't like that shirt. I want you to wear this shirt, or I want these pants. I want you to wear that. You don't want someone like that. I don't want somebody I have to dress.
No, the thing is that me, my
I don't want you to have to take all my clothes out. I want to be able to be me and you be you. You know what I mean? That's the best relationships you're going to have, or people that are happy with who they are and just want someone that enjoys their company. You see, that's what you want. Because then you got 2 individual people enjoying each other's company, and that's a relationship.
Exactly.
So that's what I wish more people would do, that instead of thinking they have to fit into a mold, because you don't. If you're attracted to someone, it's because they have something potential that you're interested in. If you got to go there and say, hey, do you like my shirt? or do you like my hat or whatever, then you're asking to fit into their life in a way that maybe they don't want to fit into. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I just think that,
Now the other way I saw it work was you go to an ATM to pull out money.
Mm-hmm.
While you're there, they usually, if they have an open garbage can right next to it, take the garbage can. I know this sounds bad. Follow me here. Go through the receipts. Find one that has an amount that's got over $50,000 on the receipt in the balance.
Mm-hmm.
Usually doesn't have your name on it. Usually they just have numbers on it whatsoever. Grab the one with a high dollar amount on it. I'm telling you this, guys. This is to help you out. You might be quote unquote deceitful in this, but just follow me. Everybody lies at first. It's okay. There's worse things you could do. Use that whenever you want a woman to call you. When you're talking and you're getting a transaction done, you're like, give me your number. And then you put that down and you get ready to write it, and she sees the value of the dollar on there. I'm pretty certain that she's going to be paying attention at first if she's a type that's financially thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
I can almost guarantee it. I've seen that work numerous times.
I remember one time, I won't say what sister I was with, but I was with one of my sisters, and we went to a bar, and a gentleman came up and asked me to dance, and I danced with him. It was a slow dance or whatever, and I came back, and we're sitting there, and then the waitress came and we ordered our drinks, and my sister said, "Wow, you got a good one there," and I was like, "What?" I didn't understand. It went over my head. And I was like, "What do you mean?" And she goes, "I saw his shoes, and they were so-and-so leather, and they're worth, a lot of money or whatever. So he's got a good job. He's got a lot of money." And I never even looked at his shoes. So see, some women, from when the guy walks into the place, is already looking at his potential of how much money he's worth. And I was a dum-dum because I didn't look at any of that stuff. All I saw was he had nice hair and a pretty smile. That was it. So that's two sisters from the same family that lived and grew up in the same house together, and two different women looking for two different things in men. And I was not that one looking for money or how big his wallet was. The only thing I saw was he had a beautiful white smile and he had really nice, thick black hair. That was it. That was what I noticed. And so when he asked me to dance and he had a nice voice, and I said, "Yeah, I'll dance with you." And I danced with him, and I had a nice dance, and I sat down. And then later he came back and talked to me and stuff. But the fact that that's what my sister saw was how much money he had because of his shoes. I still can't get over that. I still can't believe that she even had a clue how much men's shoes cost. So I just thought that was different. I thought that was way not what I wanted to be like. So I'm glad I wasn't that way. I still don't like that.
So did he give you his number?
Yeah.
And you never called it?
No, I did.
Okay.
So he was a nice guy, though. He was really nice, and he was a gentleman. He took me back to my seat, that type of stuff. That's what was important to me. I was just surprised because I guess some women see that, and you must take a lot of time out of your schedule to have to look up somebody's shoes to see how much they cost. So I don't know.
Gold Digger magazine, they have the cheat sheets in the women's magazines. Here's how you know if you're getting a man that's very well off. Look for these accoutrements on him. Check out these shoes. If a man wears these shoes, he's got the money to pay you alimony.
I don't know. I just thought it struck me funny because I've been with this person basically my whole life, And I didn't realize that that's what their interests were money or leather shoes or something. I don't know. It just threw me for a loop because I wasn't expecting that. But that's what I'm saying. You learn things about people, but you have to be around them when they're talking about those things for you to know that that's part of their interests. And normally we wouldn't be in that situation, but we just happen to be in the right situation at that one moment for me to find out that one thing. So it's just interesting. But that's what I'm saying. You need to have some type of relationship with a person before you're going to find out things about them that you wouldn't normally find out. And if you just jump into bed with them right off the bat when you don't know anything about them, then you're definitely not going to find out, whether they're looking at your wallet or they're wanting to get to know who you are. So that's what I was trying to get to eventually.
It's all right. We meander around the point sometimes, but it works. Was there another story that you wanted to read or have me read or have Ruben read?
What was that other one that you and I were talking about? I'm looking through my little notes here. Oh, did we want to talk about the semi truck plowing through that place, or the nuclear power plant attack? Do we want to talk about those?
Let me pull that up here real quick.
Okay, but I don't know what dumb magazine he was talking about. I think he was just making up one because they had
Cosmopolitan.
Oh, because I never read any of those things. I mean, I read Playgirl magazine for a little while there. I don't even know if they still make that. Do they?
I think they discontinued it because women are not the same visual creatures men are.
Well, I like that magazine.
I know you do, and that's why we get along
I
so
did
well.
like it. when I was able to get it. But I mean, not all women are visual, but I think there are a lot of women like me. I don't think I'm the only one. Oh yeah, here we go. This happened today.
Security breach at Duke Power Nuclear Plant. Man rams gate and attacks guards. November 3rd, 2023. Oconee County Sheriff's Office conducted an investigation following a concerning incident at the Oconee Nuclear Station in South Carolina on Thursday night. At approximately 8:05 p.m. on Thursday, deputies from the sheriff's office responded immediately to an emergency call from the Oconee Nuclear Station. An unknown individual had reportedly driven a car through the exit side of the faculty's gate, facing Highway 183, Fox Carolina reports. According to on-site accounts, following the unauthorized entry, the facility's security systems activated pop-up barricades designed to immobilize intruding vehicles. The rope driver, however, managed to reverse the vehicle upon entering these barricades, proceeded down an adjacent dirt road. It was here that Duke Energy security personnel made an effort to block the intruding car. If these were Wackenhut guys and girls, any of you familiar with Wackenhut? Wackenhut used to be a security company back in the day. They were known to be as gun-friendly or more gun-friendly than most Pinkertons. And they had some good contracts. They did a Groom Lake for a while. They had Clinton Nuclear Power Station in Illinois that I'm very familiar with. They do a lot of training. They do a lot of drills. If it was these people, Wackenhut, that was involved with this, I almost feel sorry for this schlub. Okay. I almost do. Because a lot of these guys are bored, and this is like what they dream of. And so they try to make it as many gunshot wounds as possible just to prolong pain. Get him
I don't
leg,
know.
twice in the arm, then go for a torso shot, preferably lower belly. Then, eventually you have to shoot for the neck. All right. They reverse the vehicle upon encountering the barricades, proceed down an adjacent dirt road. It's here that Duke Energy security personnel made an effort to block the intruding car. Undeterred, the driver escalated the situation by ramming through a fence and attempting to strike security personnel on site. Making a hasty exit from the plant premises, the driver, in his bid to escape, tried to ram a security member's truck parked near the exit. The car then continued the reckless rampage, speeding back onto Highway 183 and eventually diverting to a property on Jones Mill Road. It was at this location that gunshots were reported, though the source remains unconfirmed by the deputies. The County Sheriff's Office, led by Master Deputy Jim Watt, is currently on a manhunt for the suspect in the vehicle involved, WYFF News 4 reported. They have identified the car as a silver 2002 Toyota Camry with an Arkansas license plate bearing a tag number 380 Victor Delta Radio. What deepens the mystery of this audacious act is that approximately an hour prior to this incident, the same vehicle and its driver had made an appearance on the premises of the Oconee nuclear station. Upon confrontation, the individual was asked to leave, to which he complied before the later intrusion. Law enforcement agencies have issued a plea to the public. Anybody with information regarding the whereabouts of the driver of the Toyota Camry with the Arkansas tag 38 Victor Delta Radio is urged to call and contact 911 immediately. The Oconee nuclear station, according to Duke Energy's records, boasts 3 nuclear reactors, making it one of the largest nuclear facilities in the United States.
See?
There's also a statement here about how they're trying to transition to zero. Don't worry about that.
So do you think that this was just a nut, or do you think that maybe this was a person that might be scoping the place out to find out?
I think he's a lone wolf. He was there an hour beforehand, and usually if you have alternate personnel, they would have taken over on the secondary visit, which turned hostile. But the first time it was him. I think this, if he's not operating by himself, there's somebody involved with a lot of money. I'm willing to bet, though. I'm willing to put forth the mental exercise that this individual probably is working in the interests of people that are involved with the religion of peace. Did I say that?
No.
Sorry.
Yeah. But I hope so. I mean, I hope it's just an individual. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I hope it's not something more. I don't want it to be more. You know what I mean? Because when I first heard about it, it was kind of spooky. But we also had the other guy with the semi truck that let me get that one and share it in the chat.
Let me see if I can find it here. It's private chat, right?
Yeah, I'm putting it in there right now.
Okay.
This was the one that you were talking about in Utah.
Yep.
But it's like, when I first heard that other one this morning, the first thing I was like, oh God, please don't let this kind of stuff start happening in our country.
Let me know when you're ready.
It's up.
Duddle up. Semi-truck plows into Utah car dealership, causing huge blaze, by Anthony Scott. November 3rd, 2023, 6:40 p.m. An out-of-control semi-truck plowed into a car dealership in Thule, Utah, causing a huge blaze late Friday afternoon. A spokesman for the Thule Police Department, Lieutenant Jeremy Hansen, reported the semi-truck was driving on Main Street when it had a suspected brake failure, which prevented the big rig from stopping. That's interesting. I'll talk about that in a minute. As the semi was out of control, it plowed into 5 vehicles on Main Street and proceeded to crash into the Thule auto dealership. The semi slammed into a total of 27 vehicles on the dealership's lot, but eventually came to a halt after it crashed into the dealership's main building, which resulted in a major blaze. A total of 11 people were injured in the accident, and 1 was lifted for serious injuries. There's a tweet right there.
Oh my goodness. And now everybody's going to have to pay more for vehicles because of that. The dumbass.
This is just part of it. This isn't It's going to be pennies on a dollar. If pennies. This one incident's not going to be that bad. Current economic BS, that's going to be that bad. Per ABC4 News, one person was seriously hurt and several others injured after a semi-truck rolled out of control Friday down Main Street in Tuuli, crashing into more than 24 cars and starting a fire at an auto dealership. Lieutenant Jeremy Hansen, a spokesperson for Tuuli Police, said the semi was rolling northbound on Main Street around 1:45 p.m. when an apparent brake failure prevented it from stopping. That's where I'm going to stop this, and I'm going to say that this is a weird story because brake failures with semis typically cause the air chambers to deflate, and as the air chamber deflates, the air brakes engage.
Yeah.
So something is desperately wrong with this truck. Why was it allowed to operate? I don't know. This was a rolling accident waiting to happen.
See, I don't know enough about trucks or semis or anything to understand, why that would happen.
That's the primary thought process behind air brakes, though, is that you have to have the air continuously pumped to the airbags to prevent the springs from getting to a point where the brakes begin to engage. You have that's just how they work. So you have it balancing between 90 and 130 pounds of PSI. And then if it goes over that, if you have too much pressure, you'll have the air brake valve release, which will in the middle of your drive, and everybody hears it. And it'll drop the pressure down. But if it gets down below 70 PSI, typically that's when the brakes start to engage.
Okay, well, I wanted to do this other one that we talked about, about the costume that I was talking about for the crazy plane lady.
Oh.
Okay, because she, I think everybody remembers her, the woman that was on a plane. She was like that person or that gentleman back there or whatever. Is that real? That lady? Everybody was looking for her.
Janet, you're going to have to pick this one up, though, because Twitter's not letting me do this.
Okay, that's fine. I will do it. Let me do it.
I'm sorry. I crush on Tiffany Gomez. She's hot.
Yeah, she's very attractive. But
don't look at her nails. Don't look at her nails.
Yeah, her nails are crazy. But let me do the presenting thing here. Here we go. All right. This is I'm going to show you this real quick.
Your best rendition of this fit. And then I will choose 3 of my favorite lookalikes. And then we will all choose a winner. And the winner will then receive 2 first-class tickets either on Delta, United, or priority passes on Southwest. So show me what you've got. Happy Halloween. Hey, guys.
Okay. That is Tiffany Gomez right there that I just showed. She's the original woman that was on the plane that was saying there was a crazy, not real person that she was supposed to be sitting by or something. Well, she did a thing on her channel trying to get people to dress up as her, crazy plane lady in a costume, and that when she chose the winner, she would fly them to meet her or whatever, and they would win the costume contest. So I just think this lady is trying to promote herself now and use her nutty, crazy thing that she did to get, overnight, she was an overnight sensation. I mean, every man that saw her crazy breakout was nuts about her. For some reason, men like crazy women.
I can fix her. I can fix her. I can treat her well. My wife will do back rubs for her. We can take her aside and we can uncorrupt her. We can get the tarnish off of her. well,
really, really, why would people think that about her? I mean, I think she's pretty, but
I mean,
you know,
look at those cassava melons. Those could feed small orphan children. That could feed an orphanage
for a limited amount of time, and only one at a time, basically, or two, I guess, two at a time. She could feed two at a time, but that'd be it. But the fact that this woman was trying to, I guess, make a career off of it now because of all the people trying to find out who she was, and to see yourself on TV every single day, you know what I mean? Have everybody looking for you and trying to hide out. So somebody had to have recognized her from where she worked, you know what I mean? And said, hey, is that you on TV or something? You know, I don't know. I just think it's very interesting because I haven't really paid that much attention to the whole story, except that all the guys were drooling over her. This crazy lady on a plane. But I just thought it was funny because I saw tons and tons of stuff come across my timeline on X talking about the girls that are now wearing costumes for Halloween, pretending to be Tiffany Gomez, because now they knew who she was. But I still think it's hilarious that so many men were like, tongues were wagging for this woman, and not just because she was attractive, but the fact that she's crazy. So we talked about this whole thing at the beginning about how not to fall for nutty women that just want your wallet. And when you guys are just laying yourselves out like sacrificial lambs, I mean, that's what's going to happen to you. If that's what you're interested in.
Does she do yoga stretching? I wonder if she does yoga posing.
I bet she does.
I
bet she wears yoga pants too.
Oh my God.
Like maybe the ones that I posted in your memes. She might even wear that. So I don't know, but I won't wear that.
I wonder if she's allergic to strawberries. I wonder if they make her lips swell.
Yeah, probably. I forgot about that one too.
Oh, I never will forget about that. That's like the perfect woman right there.
I swear, she's funny. The girl that I made that video with, she's hilarious. She's funny. She likes to make people laugh, and she is a hoot. She's
adorable. She has a huge chalupa.
Well, it was stuffed. It wasn't real.
That's how it's supposed to be.
You know what I mean? But the thing is, it was supposed to be funny, and it was. So that's what's good about it. But yeah, it was really creepy to me how many men were attracted to her, not because she was attractive, and she was attractive, and she's still attractive. It was the fact that they were interested in her because she was nuts. So I don't know. That just doesn't give me much faith in men. I mean, if they show interest in me, is it because they think I'm pretty, or is it because they think I'm crazy? That's the scary part. That's really scary, because if you're attracted to crazy, that means you can't be normal. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So who knows? But man, we have been going at this for 2.5 hours, and it's almost midnight.
Yikes. Are you feeling the allergies come along?
Yes, but that's not it either. Okay. Is tomorrow we have a long day?
Yes, we do.
So we're going to be playing Bruce's game live tomorrow on Bruce's channel. So you want to tell them about it, Bruce?
Yeah. Over the past 30 years, I've been a tabletop guru and been getting into games. Started off with Star Wars, the D6 West End game system. Got into D&D in my 20s. Followed that because that was the thing that managed to put people at the table. And then a few years ago, I started getting my own idea for a game system, started writing it down, started putting it all together. If you want to see what it's like when you are in the genesis of the rule creation and getting things documented and put to your players, if you want to see that, and it's kind of a neat thing because the players are part of something really special, and they're the ones helping the dungeon master try to fix rules and hone things together. Check us out. It is a process, but there is a lot of enjoyment on my end and on their end of it. I've got a few people that are involved with us. We've got Janet, my friend Andy, Baron G Rock will be there tomorrow. We have our friend 6 Nation 31 Kings is going to be there. The Dirty Campaigner, Flady One Gaming is going to be there, and of course the Crafting Gamer is going to be there, along with those of us in the audience that will enjoy this, mostly myself. I can't wait to be there. It'll be starting roughly about 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I'm looking forward to seeing my panel there as players. And for those of you in the chat that do desire such an enjoyable time, please check us out. Also, before I turn this over to Ruben, Sunday night we are watching the classic movie Powder. Powder is what we're looking at. So I'm going to be interested in seeing how this movie really turns out. I've never seen it before. This is Janet's month.
Yeah.
This is Janet's month, and she picked Sean Patrick Flannery. That's who she crushes on. And so we're going to watch 4 of his films. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there Sunday night in the Discord. And then Monday, we will talk about Powder.
Yeah, all of you in the chat, if you would like to watch this movie with us, you just have to come into Bruce's Discord. And you can watch the movie with us. And then after we're finished, we usually talk about it a little bit and stuff before we do the review Monday night. So we'd be happy to have any of you come if you would like to watch it with us and hang out. It's fun.
Thank you so much for allowing me to be here with you tonight, Janet and Ruben.
Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. So Ruben, would you like to announce anything about your channel?
I'm basically I'm putting out videos sparingly right now because I'm in the transition between losing the weight and all that stuff. But I do have my Rumble, Twitter, X, Instagram. You can follow me everywhere. I'm just doing a lot of good videos out there, and I'm gonna be kicking it up where it's all about fitness and working out. Because again, I'm cracking 350. I can see 300. I can see 250, then 200, and then possibilities are endless.
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of you, Ruben.
I'm proud of you. I am too. I've seen you work so hard to reach this goal, and I'm so proud of you. And I just see you going so far. You're going to be very successful. I know it. And on my channel, basically, I'm just doing, my little shorts. I do post some other a little longer videos. I'm trying to do a little more videos of my chickens. I only have half as many chickens now because I think I almost all got killed from that dog that showed up at my house. But and then on Friday nights, I hope you come back to see us again while we just pick up other things that we can talk about on the shit show. But thank you so much for everyone who's come and hung out with us tonight. We really appreciate all of you. And without you, we're nobody. Right? We're nothing without our chat. So I really want to say thank you. And I hope you guys had a wonderful evening. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And thank you for joining us. And I hope that you'll join us tomorrow, maybe stop in and say hi. And, enjoy us being crazy or be yourselves. But thank you so much. And hope to see you again later. Whoops, that's wrong.